Welcome to episode 7 of Shmuppin with JT and the Hambone. I'm JT.
And I'm the Hambone. In today's episode, we will be featuring XMultiply. Released in 1989 by Irem, it is a horizontal shooter. And here are some of the things you need to know about this game. So the main element of XMultiply, it's a very unique mechanic, is the tentacles that they have on here. So you have two tentacles that attach to your ship when you collect your first power-up, and they tend to drift up and down. And
there's like one on the top of your ship and then one on the bottom of your ship.
And the cool thing is, like, you can control the tentacles when you're moving your ship. So when you move them you move your ship forward, they tend to go backwards, and then when you move backwards, they go forwards. And the cool thing about these tentacles are that they work as a shield, so they'll stop almost any projectile in the game, excluding like the big lasers that the bosses shoot. And then they also do damage as well, so they can kill the popcorn enemies and do damage to the stage when you need to destroy things.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're underwater, so they're very flowing.
Yeah, they're fluid.
It is. It's very fluid. It takes a little while to get used to, especially when you're using them offensively to try and kill popcorn enemies or guys on the ceiling. You'll go up to the enemy and your tentacles trail behind you. But you want your tentacles in front of you to kill the enemy, so you have to kind of do this weird whipping motion. It's pretty unique. It's fun.
And then after you've collected that's your first power-up. Then there are 3 other power-ups you can collect, and they're denoted by color. The red is the laser. It's the most powerful weapon in the game, and it's the easiest because you can just hold the button down and just keep shooting. And then you have the blue power-up, which are the homing missiles, which can do quite a bit of damage, but you have to wait till all the missiles have been used before another barrage comes out. Yeah,
you shoot like a bunch of them out, and they all have to find their targets, and then another bunch shoots out.
Right. And then finally we have the yellow, which is yuck. Yuck. What it does is it has the ends of your tentacles shoot out these blue rings that do very little damage, and they're really hard to actually control because your tentacles are shooting them, so they end up just going around wildly, and you rarely hit things with them. So
it's like a fire hose that you can't control.
So don't get that one. Anyway. Don't. And then you have your secondary bomber missile. I think it's a bomb for B. Yep. And then there's speed ups and there's speed down, and then there's a couple 1-ups, and that's about it for collectible power ups and items.
Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward shmup. I mean, you start off with a little pea shooter. It's scattered throughout the game are the power ups, and you choose which weapons you want. Yep. Typically, you're going to want the red laser for almost the entire game, but there are some parts where you want the blue homing missiles. And if you get yellow, you've made a mistake.
All right, so without much further ado, let's get on to the gameplay.
Let's do it. Stage 1.
Let us begin.
Now, what is that thing dropping?
Oh, so a little backstory here. The story of the game is that aliens are invading a colony planet in the year 2249. Yes. The catch is that they're microscopic. And so what's happening right now is your ship, the X-002, has been shrunken down and injected into a woman who has been infected by the alien queen.
By the queen.
So you're essentially going to save Ripley. And so when you first come in, you're being injected into the bloodstream here. So you'll see a lot of those, those bioorganic alien elements and stuff.
So we've gotten the red power. Yep. This is the laser. You'll see it throughout. About 95% of this video is laser. Because it is by far the best weapon, and it is the easiest weapon to use because you just hold the button down.
Yep.
But there you can see the tentacles. You're purposely shoving them into an enemy. I mean, it's not really an enemy, but environmental enemy kind of a thing, and it just... The sound it makes, when you're doing damage. It's like a shrieking... It's pretty cool.
And so he's got the blue power, those are the missiles. And you can see they can do quite a bit of damage as well, but they take time to recharge.
Yeah, I mean, if you're up close to something, the missiles, they explode really quickly, so they keep coming out pretty fast. But that's kind of the default position. If you're not moving, your tentacles go up and down. That's kind of their default position. But you can see, you'll do a lot of tap, 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 inch, inch, inch to keep your things focused if you're trying to hit a target.
So, we're at the first boss, and much like all of these horizontal shmups, there is a safe spot. Yeah, you can literally hang out in a little code.
Right, that little code.
If you want to, and just shooting those things will never hit you.
Yeah, you could take a nap.
Yes.
You can close your eyes and then do something.
All right, stage 1.
First boss, pretty easy, especially if you know the safe spot.
All right.
So I don't know where we are now. So if we're microscopic,
yes, this is the duodenum.
There's we're kind of just in a void.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I don't know where we are in the body, but
yes, this poor hapless woman.
so now I think.
Don't get that.
Yeah, no.
Good job.
Watch. Make wide berth.
Yes.
But you notice, I think every power-up, including bombs, has 2 stages. So that was the second B we've gotten. So now the bombs come out really fast. So you can hold the button down and there is an auto-fire, but if you're down on an enemy, which we'll see in about 10 seconds as we go down this thing, you just hammer on the thing because the missiles, if you get right down, they do a ton of damage right there. So if you were to hold the button down, they would just kind of about half that speed. But this is a gnarly dude we're going around. Bits and pieces fall off.
Yeah, just falling off. These things attacking me. So you can just sit in the back corner.
Yeah, so
do nothing.
this is again safe spot. There are a lot of safe spots in this game. This is one. Just the whole time you're going back to the left. Just stay there.
Back and to the left.
And you're
back and to the left.
That sounds familiar, but I don't know what it's from. I know you're gonna. I'm disappointing you.
JFK.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
For those who like, you can write in and complain. Alright, so second boss, you can literally just sit in the bottom left corner until he charges at you.
I'm gonna say shoot.
Yeah.
All these things are shoots.
I guess, yes. Yeah, it's a woman. So, yeah, that boss is just as easy as the first one.
Yeah, you just sit in the bottom corner, and then when it charges, you move up and you come back down. That's pretty much it.
Alright, now the difficulty starts to ramp up a little bit on this stage.
Yes, the first one on the ceiling, if you don't know that it's about to spit a germ worm at you,
a germ worm,
it can point blank you the second you spawn into this stage. You have to be aware.
And so one of the things with this game, though, is when you die, there's a checkpoint system. Which is one of our least favorite game mechanics right now.
Not my favorite thing.
And so, depending on where you die, you might not get any power-ups.
Yeah, so doing this without your tentacles, because when you spawn,
it's almost impossible.
Power way down. It's hard.
Because I don't know how you're supposed to kill those things and then protect yourself.
No, you can't. Yeah. You do a lot of dodging. Because you can see, I mean, you're jamming your tentacle into each one of these and doing damage and bombs. I mean, they take some damage.
To every orifice. It's a very Japanese.
All the eyeballs and stuff. This game's got cool graphics.
Yes.
I dig it.
Music's good.
Yeah. It's almost not music per se. I mean, it's like a legit soundtrack. Like it's very atmospheric. I mean, it fits the game very well. You're not going to be humming any of these tunes when you're done playing, but when you're playing the game, the tunes fit very well.
All right, here comes your first, I guess, kind of mid-boss thing.
Yeah.
He's not incredibly difficult.
No, I think it's as long as
don't get caught underneath him too often.
Don't go near the edges of the screen because he pops out.
He'll just snake his way around you for the most part.
Yeah, and your instinct might be to let him snake around you, but he makes tighter circles, so you can't do that for very long. There's another yellow.
Don't get it. Don't get it. Don't do it. There are definitely some moments in these stages just kind of a wall.
Yeah. There's the first one up, though.
Yep. Huzzah.
More eyeballs. Look at all the eyeballs. I assume those are eyeballs.
What else would they do? Yeah,
that's true. I'm typically a 1 speed up guy in this game.
Yeah.
You could probably get away with 2. But
why risk it? Alright, this is the first kind of difficult boss. You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, if you come into this boss and you're not expecting those blue lasers to start bouncing around, it will catch you unawares.
Yeah. And then once you die in this, you get stuck in a trap, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is a death trap. But as you saw, you start off the back, kill those first 2.
Yeah, typically you do the ones on the left because you can sit under those and kill them before the blue lasers even come near.
So there's only 2 lasers out, and then
Right.
they're way easier to dodge, and you have 4 out there.
But yeah, if you die in that boss, you go back to the checkpoint. You're going into that boss with a pea shooter.
You simply can't do enough damage right away.
Yeah.
You get to dodge a lot.
I think you do get your tentacles before you come in. I think.
But still.
But yeah.
All right. So on this stage, this is where the stage actually starts to get hard.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention. You have to know where to be.
This is why I don't ever have 2 speed ups.
Yeah.
This stage right here.
All right. Yeah, because the guys start coming up behind you and start doing that.
Yeah, you'll have to run the level a few times because you have to know when those dudes are coming up behind you.
And you have to know like when to space out, like these things, for example.
Yeah.
How to space that out.
And you can go above them and you can go below them, but sometimes they go all the way down and all the way up. You just have to kind of learn the pattern.
And then you can certainly kill yourself very easily by running into the walls.
Yes, there's a lot of environment in this level.
All right, so check these guys out. They move the environment around, so you gotta know how they move the stage.
They're like arm claw things, but yeah, they got that little soft spot.
Right. So these first 3 are pretty just whatever. But now at this part, you need to scoot up real quick, because then the stage. If you hang back, that'll pull it down and squish you. You can't get through.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it just extends and it starts pulling the entire level down to crush you.
Yeah.
Or up.
Okay. I believe there's 2 more sequences. Oh, we'll see. Oh, yeah, this one, so you gotta... I mean, you can hang up there and come down and kill them and stuff and come back.
Yeah,
but it's easier just to come down through this and go...
Yeah. You don't even have to kill it because it just...
And this will automatically move because this is the end of the stage, yeah. So that can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you're going to get through on the first try.
Right. Unless you're an expert shmuppologist.
So this guy has 3 little turrets when he starts out. You want to knock those out immediately. Right. Otherwise, they all spray bullets, and then you got the big thing shooting the bullets.
And that little head will shoot bullets.
Yeah.
And you want to kill that part.
So yeah, that weird part thing comes out, and you want to kill that immediately. And then it's just dodge the things and kill it.
Stage 5.
But again, if you come in powered down,
no hope.
That boss is really hard to.
So it seems to me that like every horizontal shmup has to have a stage like this,
where you just
like environmental, like you have to like go through the
cutting through some viscous material.
Yeah. Those are what are those? Extracts of some sort?
Maybe
blood cells.
Alien bloods. But this is a perfect example of constantly using your tentacles as shields, because all those bullets they're trapping you in the middle.
Right.
So you're constantly kind of backing up and making sure your tentacles kind of go in front of you and eat the bullets.
Eat the bullets, and also, I mean, you need to clear those pink things as quickly as possible too. I couldn't imagine trying to do this powered down. Like, is it possible?
It is. It is very hard.
Have you done this?
I have.
Okay.
Maybe once or twice. And you have to, it's one of those things where you kind of, and when you're not powered up, you start slowly losing ground, and then you just, eventually it just crushes you, because you have to shoot these blobs
look at this right
to
now.
drop the crystals to get through. But this is where you finally switch to blue homing missiles. You can get through it with lasers, but, I mean, you saw how far back against the screen. You just, the missiles just chew that stuff up. Because you can switch back to red.
Right away.
Right there.
Yeah. Now, this reminds me of R-Type Leo a little bit. These drops coming off this still
I like the sound of the drops, too. They have, like, cool echoey sounds, like you're in a cavern.
You're in a cavern.
What?
A cavernous. Wait, was it the intestine, or are those...
I'm going to say intestine. We got some nasty liquid on the bottom.
What are those things in your...
Polyps? Got some polyps on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, this guy. Oh. All right, so here's
safe spot number 1.
Safe spot. Yep.
There are 2 safe spots on this guy. So this is not only a safe spot, but it also does a little damage when you're doing it. This is the other safe spot where you're not doing any damage. You're just surviving. Yeah. And if you're going for score, you're leeching a little, on purpose. You could go down and be in the thick of stuff.
Why bother?
Why? So you will not kill him doing this. The boss will probably time out eventually, and you will not get the points for him. So you can do a few rounds of this just to soften them up, and then I typically just did like backward, forward, and then you start going down. You're like, all right,
gotta do some damage.
Let's finish it.
Yeah. As you can see, like one of the things is being able to concentrate your fire on a boss or anything for that matter, and like just do more damage. Like once you start getting like all 3 beams like converging to one, you're doing so much damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is really.
This is a hard level.
Are these moths or butterflies?
Flying bloods.
Well, butterflies in your stomach, right?
Yeah. There you go. I want the background. Like we're inside a body, but it's like going green, red, the green, purple. I don't know what's going on. But these little pods of pink brain egg sac things,
whatever they are. Yeah.
If you get up right to them and then back up and kind of move your tentacles into them, you can kill most of them.
Clamp down on them.
Because if you let them all get out, they go to the edge of the screen and then they burst and the guys swarm you. So you have to be very aggressive on the stage and kill those things before they get out of control.
Alright, we've seen these guys before.
This is what I affectionately refer to as the Pit of Despair. This is the only time where it scrolls vertically.
Yeah.
So now you're going down into this pit, and my god, you can see like I almost just died there. There's like 3 more times where I almost died. This is probably the hardest part in the game. Right?
Now, if you have no power-ups here,
it's possible.
It's possible, but improbable.
But you have to have a lot of guys. Yeah. I've had runs where I haven't died. To this point, I die and it takes me 4 or 5 guys to get through.
Right.
Because it's hard even when you're powered up. But you notice you switch to blue because you need the missiles to kill those little orange dudes. That's the hardest part in the game, right there. So you have to do that. You notice that you like stick your nose in that rock thing, and then you go all the way to the top and you wait. There's like this one bullet that comes up, and then you just shoot down, and your tentacle.
That's your one shot.
Eats it. That's your one shot.
That's your one shot.
You have to time it perfectly, otherwise I don't think you can get through that. I don't know how you do.
Alright, and then you can just literally sit on top of his head and just pound the missiles for the first little bit.
Yeah, and it's the only... I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because he's shooting red things off to the side. He's got the white things he's shooting out of his head. And then there's things coming out of this 4 corners. But as long as you know that, kind of don't sit in the corners because the things ain't come out, and then don't sit where those white things come out of his head. So that's the spot where you want to be, is right on top of his head. But he will sandwich you into the ceiling. Yeah. So if he starts squishing, you've got it. Yeah. And that's when you can die, because you can be escaping, and that's when all the things converge on you and kill you.
All right.
The final stage. Stage 7.
This is where you have to put everything you've learned together.
Another hard stage. Yeah. It's a very well balanced game. Like, the longer you go, the harder it gets.
And the scoring is fairly balanced too, as you can see as it's going.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like the first boss is 10,000 and 20,000, and we didn't really talk about it, but if you beat certain parts of the boss quickly, you get more points. But you can also time out a boss and get very little points. You only get the 40 or 50k
stage bonus, which is not that much.
See, oh my god, this level you just have to memorize. You have to know where those little pods are that shoot out the little green balls, because those green balls I think you can
they're
kill them
indestructible.
eventually.
I thought they just disappear.
You can run them into the environment. Because you can see they do a very predictable pattern. So you can go up and around things and then chase them, draw them into the environment, and then they just pop and they disappear. But that's the hardest part of a stage, besides the Pit of Despair drop. That's very frustrating. But once you learn where each one was, you're a half an inch from the front of the screen, just waiting for him to come out, pounding on the bomb button, killing it.
For the last level, this bit here is just pretty easy. I understand it.
Yeah.
Alright, red.
You can kill both of these. It's a little tricky. Like the first one goes down, then this one kind of puts out its arms, and now you're not doing any damage.
Yeah, give me a hug.
And then he starts doing that. So I tried to kill him there.
This is the chaotic part.
Right.
Because you don't want to get all those speed ups.
No, you can blow through it and pray.
Yeah, you can definitely mess up your game right there. Yeah. You can get a yellow power up and just screw everything over.
It'll be game over. That was such a nut punch. To go the entire game and then pick up yellow.
All right, here we go. The final boss.
So this is again not a safe spot, but basically if you're fully powered up.
You're more well versed in the occult than I am. So who is this?
The alien queen. It's the virus queen. But yeah, you just sit on right, make sure your bombs are going right on her nose, and just hammer on it. And first stage of the boss, super simple. This one, you have to practice. Because this is chaotic.
Yeah, I know where those bullets are going.
I mean, sure, there's multiple ways to do this. I just kind of stumbled upon a pattern. I just kept working on it until it finally worked. So that's it. It's a relatively difficult game. It's not impossible. Well, there are some shmups where you got to practice for like months to get by.
But I guess before this game does loop though.
It does loop.
So there is a second loop, which is considerably harder.
Yes.
Considerably harder.
Suicide bullets.
Yes.
Although I'm not even sure they're technically suicide bullets, but there are
bullets.
Yeah. Like enemies, like popcorn enemies that come out right at the beginning of level 1, start firing bullets at you. So
I shall play you forever.
A lot more bullets.
Well, now you get sucked back up.
Yep, we're done. Sucked back up into the needle.
For now.
But we should talk about the Japanese version.
Oh.
Because as with most Japanese shmups, they are made of tougher stuff across the pond.
They have way more hit points.
So everything is the same except for hit points. So some of the non-popcorn enemies have a little more hit points, and the bosses definitely have way more.
Sarikasu.
So the final boss, like that first stage where you're hammering bombs into the queen's nose.
Yeah.
You have to be able to really press the button fast to kill her. If you don't, she goes into this thing where she's firing huge lasers at you. And I think for the first time in Shmuppin history, I'm going to add a little section at the end. We're going to give tips for how to limp by bosses if you're powered down. Because in this video, we showed how to demolish them.
Round bonus. Try again.
Hey, you get 1 million. That's a lot.
Whoa, mama.
So, at that point, you're dumped back into level 1. Much, much harder in the second. But yeah, I think at the end of this, I'll put some tricks on how to pass some of the bosses if you die, go back to a checkpoint, because there are safe spots and things you can do.
Right.
But that was XMultiply.
That's XMultiply.
There's not anything about this game that I don't like.
Well, the only complaint I have, and it's not the game's maker's fault, I just don't like horizontal shmups for the most part. But it has everything you need in a shmup.
Yeah.
It's once again an accessible game. It's definitely a memorization game though. Like you need to know exactly where the enemies are going to come out at, and where to be, and things like that.
There are some spots that you just can't instinctively get through. You have to know where to be.
Yeah, and you definitely have to have the right power ups, because if you get the yellow one, as you saw me playing earlier today, that will do you no good when you go to the bosses.
I tried to figure out why yellow exists.
Yep.
Like there's gotta be some part of the game where like, man, we need this special. No.
Nope, never get it.
No, it's pointless. That's my only knock against the game. That stupid yellow shell shouldn't exist. There should have been some cooler weapon.
But and then you can see like how it influenced like other games like later, like especially with its tentacle concept and like how it's a shield and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's pretty groundbreaking, I guess. For
like ZexX had the tentacles, but it's very it's it's pretty standard in its look.
Right.
But it's very cool. I mean, going through a tiny your microscopic plane going through somebody's body.
Yeah.
And then that body has been ravaged by alien
microscopic alien invaders.
So it's very cool. Huge thumbs up. Loved it.
I will give it a normal size thumbs up.
Normal, okay.
Yes, but I'll give it a thumbs up nonetheless.
Okay.
How y'all doing? Hey guys, Hambone here again, rapping at you about a little bit of history. We're going to start out by talking about Irem, the maker of this wonderful, wonderful game. For those of you who've seen a previous episode, when we did R-Type Leah, we talked a little bit about them. But aside from the R-Type series, they have a few other little-known games like Mystic Riders, and my favorite title is Fire Barrel. And then cool thing about XMultiply, though, is that they were able to port that to some home consoles. So in 1998, they did a combo release with Image Fight. And they released that for the PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn. And they're super rare, only in Japan as I recall. So if you stumble across one of those, I do believe it's worth a little something something. And then wait. Hold on one sec. I'm sorry. Mrs. Hambone, I just got to take this. Yes, dear. All right. Well, guys, I gotta run. The old lady, she's mad at me, so until next time, see y'all later.
Alright, boss number 1. Just sit in that little alcove to the left, and the boss cannot hit you. As you can see, you can come out a couple times, just to kind of concentrate your lasers and kill the boss faster. But you do not have to do that. You can sit in the alcove and the boss will die. 4th boss, he's got 3 little chest turrets. I like taking him out right away because it makes it easier to get into the upper left-hand corner, which is where you want to be. You do not have to kill them, though. They cannot hit you there. I just find it easier. As soon as you take them out, go into the upper left-hand corner like that, where your ship is just barely touching the ceiling like that, and you are safe. That little throat detachable guy comes out, and you're safe. Everything's safe. So let's speed this up. It takes a while. So you can usually go get a drink and come back while this is happening. But yeah, you're totally safe there. 5th boss. As you saw in the regular gameplay video, you can kind of alternate between these 2 pockets in the ceiling. So as long as you're up high enough, those little projectiles that he spits out cannot hit you. And another benefit of doing this is you get a little extra bonus points because your tentacle eats up the projectiles. So you're leeching and you're getting by the boss. And you cannot get to this boss without your tentacles. You get that power up right before you get to the boss. So that's it. You just kind of go back and forth. And we're going to speed it up here because it's the same thing over and over. Back and forth, back and forth. Just alternate between the pockets, and eventually the boss will die. Final boss. So as you saw in our gameplay video earlier, what you're supposed to do is rain missiles down on the boss's nose. But if you forget to do so, or you didn't hit the button fast enough and the boss is still alive, go around those skull circles and position your ship right above the boss's elbow joints, and then get inside that blue circle. That keeps you safe from the finger projectiles that the boss shoots out, but as you can see, it does not keep you safe from the big laser coming from above the boss's head. So, when you see the full ball above the boss appear, just move all the way left or all the way right. That's it. You just keep going back and forth. It doesn't take very long. You just have to do it 5-6 times, and the boss is dead. Alright, that was XMultiply by Irem. If you like this episode, you can check us out on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/Shmuppin. We're also on YouTube, obviously, youtube.com/Shmuppin. We also stream a lot on Twitch. I am Dr. Sage.
And I'm Backdoor Fred. So, well, until next time, guys, keep on shmupping.